Oh wait, might be in good shape. You're live. We are good. You can mute the mic if you want.
Hi everyone, welcome to Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness. My name is Sandra Roy, your friendly neighborhood physical therapist. Here alongside is my lovely assistant Bree.
Hello everybody.
So what we've decided to do is talk about what we do here in Albatross Physical Therapy in terms of how do we treat patients, and I think Bree had a few questions that we wanted to tackle here today. So Bree, you had some questions. What was the first question that you wanted to ask, or people had questions about?
Sure. So I've had a lot of people ask me, in order for them to come in, do they need a medical or a doctor referral?
So the short answer is no, they do not, and I'll tell you why. On August 2018, our mayor, or rather our governor here, Bruce Rauner, had actually announced that he passed a bill so that anyone that was suffering from pain, and this was because of the opioid crisis, and people were taking too much opioids to try and reduce their pain symptoms. And what he found was that having physical therapy as being easily accessible to physical therapy actually helped a lot of these patients reduce their pain. So in August, he signed a bill allowing any person that has any problems with pain, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, etc., to be able to access a physical therapist without a doctor's referral. So that actually enables people to really kind of walk in and get a really thorough evaluation by a physical therapist and be able to assess and treat this pain without the use of harmful medication, without the use of damaging injections, without the use of unnecessary surgery. So no. So the answer is no, you don't need a referral to see a physical therapist.
Okay, interesting. So let's see.
Yeah, what was the next one?
Sleeping positions. All right.
Okay.
So funny, this question. My friend from South Africa, she actually texted me and herself asked, what's the best sleeping position?
So that's a really good question. Now, you're probably going to hear a lot of different physical therapists say different things, and I'll tell you what I know as the best sleeping position for your neck, because I think most people have problems sleeping on their side, because when you do sleep on your side, your neck usually, if your pillow is too flat, you're kind of, and imagine this is the bed, your head is tilted this way, and so it's kind of smushed in this area, and it's kind of pinched, and it's pinching your nerves here, and you can get a lot of neck pain as a result of that. Or if your pillow is too high and you're sleeping on your side, imagine this is your bed, your head's going to be like this, and now you're pinching the other side, and you're kind of overstretching this area, which can also lead to pain and discomfort. So what I recommend is getting a towel and rolling it up and kind of positioning it under your neck here on your side when you're sleeping on your side, so it allows your neck to be cradled. And I explain why this is important is because I don't know if you've ever been to a museum where you've seen like Chinese archaeology, but back in the day, hundreds if not thousands of years ago, the Chinese used ceramic pillows to cradle their heads. And they understood even then that the neck was more important than the head to support while sleeping. So a pillow was not as important to them, and so they used ceramic pillows to support their neck instead of their heads. And in similar fashion, if you roll up a towel and you have it about 3 to 4 inches in diameter, this will help to actually support.
All right, I'm ready when you are. Oh, hang on though. Wait, no, not yet. Okay.
Hello, we're here at Spyglass Athletics Center. High school basketball. We're so happy to be back in the stadium, watching the athletes play and make us. And through all of the pandemic, it's just so great to see. How does that feel to you when you're on the sports And the Chicago First team's coming in at 7-1. Difficult challenge. That's what you got. You guys are kind of lacking size. How do you get
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness. My name is Sandra Roy, your friendly neighborhood physical therapist. Here alongside is my lovely assistant Bree.
Hello, everybody.
So what we've decided to do is talk about what we do here in Albatross Physical Therapy in terms of how do we treat patients. And I think Bree had a few questions that we wanted to tackle here today. So Bree, you had some questions. What was the first question that you wanted to ask, or people had questions about?
Sure. So I've had a lot of people ask me, in order for them to come in, do they need a medical or a doctor referral?
So the short answer is no, they do not, and I'll tell you why. On August 2018, our mayor, or rather our governor here, Bruce Rauner, had actually announced that he passed a bill so that anyone that was suffering from pain, and this was because of the opioid crisis, and people were taking too much opioids to try and reduce their pain symptoms. And what he found was that having physical therapy, as being easily accessible to physical therapy, actually helped a lot of these patients reduce their pain. So in August, he signed a bill allowing any person that has any problems with pain, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, etc., to be able to access a physical therapist without a doctor's referral. So that actually enables people to really kind of walk in and get a really thorough evaluation by a physical therapist and be able to assess and treat this pain without the use of harmful medication, without the use of damaging injections, without the use of unnecessary surgery. So no. So the answer is no. You don't need a referral to see a physical therapist.
Okay, interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, what was the next one? Sleeping positions.
All right.
Okay.
funny, this question. My friend from South Africa, she actually texted me and herself asked, what's the best sleeping position?
So that's a really good question. Now, you're probably going to hear a lot of different physical therapists say different things, and I'll tell you what I know as the best sleeping position for your neck, because I think most people have problems sleeping on their side, because when you do sleep on your side, your neck usually, if your pillow is too flat, you're kind of, and imagine this is the bed, your head is tilted this way, and so it's kind of smushed in this area, and it's kind of pinched, and it's pinching your nerves here, and you can get a lot of neck pain as a result of that. Or if your pillow is too high and you're sleeping on your side, imagine this is your bed, your head's going to be like this, and now you're pinching the other side, and you're kind of overstretching this area, which can also lead to pain and discomfort. So what I recommend is getting a towel and rolling it up and kind of positioning it under your neck here on your side when you're sleeping on your side, so it allows your neck to be cradled. And I explain why this is important is because I don't know if you've ever been to a museum where you've seen like Chinese archaeology, but back in the day, hundreds if not thousands of years ago, the Chinese used ceramic pillows to cradle their heads. And they understood even then that the neck was more important than the head to support while sleeping. So a pillow was not as important to them, and so they used ceramic pillows to support their neck instead of their heads. And in similar fashion, if you roll up a towel and you have it about 3 to 4 inches in diameter, this will help to actually support the neck when you sleep at night. And it won't allow you to scrunch up or pinch your neck and nerves in your neck and allow you to sleep comfortably at night. In fact, this actually works so well. I had a patient just the other day that said she couldn't believe how a simple trick like this actually helped her sleep better at night, and she stopped having neck pain and eventually even shoulder pain.
Interesting. I have another question before that.
Yep.
So I personally sleep with a pillow between my leg.
Yep.
Is that going to cause anything?
That's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, sleeping with a pillow between your legs actually helps to keep your spine in alignment. So in addition to sleeping with a towel roll or a cervical spine roll for your neck, I would recommend putting a pillow in between your knees so that it allows for the lower spine or the lower back to be aligned with your hips and everything else, so you sleep more comfortably at night.
Okay.
Cool?
Cool.
Right.
Let's see. All right. So the most famous question that I constantly get is the difference between dry needling and acupuncture.
Okay, well that's a really good question because I get that asked a lot. In fact, people often use dry needling and acupuncture interchangeably, but there is a fundamental difference. The difference, well, before I get to that, people often ask me, is there a wet needling? Have you ever been asked that?
No, but that makes sense of why they would ask, yeah.
Why is there dry needling? You know what? Well, there is wet needling. We don't really call it wet needling, but it's any sort of needle that's basically poked into your skin that has any sort of fluid in it. So basically, if you're getting an injection for a cortisone injection, or if you're getting a viral injection or a vaccine injection, that's a wet injection.
That
Okay.
makes sense, yeah.
So, but dry needling, there's nothing wet about it. You're just using a needle to puncture the skin and allow for certain things to happen to allow you to feel better.
How deep in the muscle does that go?
It can go, well, it depends on the needle itself. So
Okay.
it depends on the area, and that's why it takes a skilled professional to be able to insert the needle, the right length of needle and the diameter needle into
Okay.
the certain parts of the body so that you're not, most of all, you're not harming the patient. And that's
Okay.
most important. And that's why it's so important that you have somebody who's really skilled and certified to be able to do this. Now, the difference between dry needling and acupuncture is this. Acupuncturists have years of study dealing with the meridian lines of the body. It's an ancient belief system that has been used for thousands of years, where they take a needle and they place it in certain what they call meridian lines or channels, energy channels in the body, to allow for that energy to be released or something to that effect when you insert a needle. And that is considered to allow the body to heal, by releasing those energy channels. Now, with dry needling, it's a little bit different. With dry needling, there's been 20 to 30 years of evidence-based research showing where the needles actually help the body if you insert them in certain areas.
Okay.
Now, instead of acupuncture, which may not only help to decrease pain, it can be used for other things, such as what if you want to stop smoking, or what if you want to lose weight. People often go to acupuncturists to do that sort of thing.
Okay.
But for dry needling, from a physical therapist standpoint, we use it only to manage pain and musculoskeletal conditions. So, if you have issues with pain, if you have issues with flexibility, if your muscles are tight, acupuncture can help. And how does that, dry needling can help. And how does it help? Well, when you insert a needle into the body, what it does, it helps to improve blood circulation to that area, helps to improve the circulation of chemicals to that area to allow it to heal, and also helps to normalize the nervous system. So if you're very hypersensitive, it helps to bring the sensitivity down. If you have numbness, it helps to bring the sensitivity up. So it helps to maintain what we call a homeostasis. So that's really the major difference between dry needling and acupuncture.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
I do have a question, actually.
Sure, go ahead.
So what is the difference between a chiropractor and like a physical therapist?
That's a really good question. So I've worked with physical therapists, of course, for many, many years, and as well as working with chiropractors for many, many years. Now I'll tell you one fundamental difference between the two. Chiropractors mainly focus on the spine, and things are changing, right? Things are changing. Chiropractors are now looking at other areas in the body that can affect pain and limitations of movement and stuff like that, but they primarily were focused on the spine, and oftentimes they believed that the spine was responsible for everything that happened in the body. But with physical therapists, we not only look at the spine, but we look at other areas of the body. We are functional movement specialists, meaning that we look at the entire body to determine what the functional limitations are and be able to solve it by looking more deeply into why the functional movement is not correct or why it's being impaired. Mm-hmm. So for example, if you have an inability to move the shoulder to play baseball, why is that happening? Is it a muscular restriction? Is it a problem with the actual joint itself? Is it a postural issue? We look more into that, and it could also be related to the spine. So we'll go backwards and we'll look at the shoulder, and then we'll look at the spine as well.
Okay.
And see if there's some sort of relationship there, and we try to fix those things and then move on to see if we can get the functional movement back. That's from a physical therapist standpoint. But from a chiropractic standpoint, I can't speak on their behalf so deeply, but what I can tell you is that they look at the spine very intently, and they kind of progress from that onward instead of looking at other areas of the body first. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Cool. So is that it for today?
That's it.
Cool. Once again, I'd like to thank you. If there's any other questions, feel free to contact us. Our email address is albatrossphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. Our phone number is 630-446-5660. We'd love to be able to talk to you. Once again, myself, Sanjoy Roy. I'm a physical therapist at Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness, and this is my lovely assistant Bree. And we want you to be pain-free, right?
Pain-free.
Pain-free. Well, let's do the albatross.
Ready?
Let's do the albatross. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
All right, just checking this voice. Now I'm checking this voice. Okay, so this mic is on. Okay, this mic is on. So I'm just talking into this mono mic. But bird is the word. Find out what everybody is saying, that bird is the word. In Wheaton, Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness is the word. Shoveling snow hurt your lower back? Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness will get you better. Want to improve your golf game this summer? Albatross Physical Therapy will get you ready. Having aches and pains training for the upcoming race season? Albatross Physical Therapy will ensure that you are prepared for the challenge. Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free. They offer techniques that involve hands-on, personalized, one-on-one care that will surely show you relief from headaches, pain of the lower back, neck, shoulders, knees, hips, and a range of other muscles and joint injuries. But don't take our word for it. Have a look at Albatross stellar Google reviews and see for yourself why everybody is saying that the bird is the word. Look for the huge orange bird wings at 600 South County Farm Road, Suite 201 in Wheaton, 60187. Call now and take advantage of their Valentine's Day special 30-minute CBD massage for only $30. They accept most health insurance plans and in most cases do not require a doctor's referral for treatment. For more information, call 630-446-5660, 630-446-5660, or email them at albatrossphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. albatrossphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. But bird is the word. Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness. Pain-free.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
LaVine, nice
Good
pass.
cut.
Thaddeus Young with a beautiful
Good
pass.
cut.
Zach LaVine sure knows how to put that orange ball into the hoop, but leading the Chicago Bulls to regular season wins, not so much. Since joining the Bulls during that blockbuster Jimmy Butler mega trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves, LaVine's Bulls have basically been in the lower tier of the Eastern Conference. They've been so below mediocre that Chicago has never reached the 30-win plateau with LaVine as their star attraction. LaVine is a very nice player, and he's arguably the most underrated isolation scorer in the NBA. But are the Bulls going anywhere unless they can get another star player in Chicago? The answer to that question is an obvious no. And with the New York Knicks now showing promise, and the Bulls still hovering around 500, it might once again be hard for LaVine and company to try to entice free agents to sign with Chicago this summer. So, if Arturas and his front office mates can't persuade free agents to play their home games at the United Center, is there really a point in keeping LaVine? Once again, LaVine is an excellent player to have on your team, but if you're never competing for a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, then what is LaVine's true value to the Bulls? In my opinion, LaVine creates more harm to the Bulls than good stuff, and this has nothing to do with his game, well, mostly. His defense is still spotty at best, but you can't argue with his current stat line in 2021. Over 27 points per game and shooting over 51% from the field. Former Bulls two-guard Jimmy Butler is obviously a better two-way player than The real issue with LaVine's presence on the team is his scoring numbers can't single-handedly carry the Bulls when they aren't getting significant contributions from their second and third best scorers. Why is that the case? Well, LaVine isn't necessarily a great distributor of the pumpkin. If we consider all guards, his 5.3 assists per game are barely scratching the top 10 in the NBA. So if he can't pass the ball well, he needs major contributions from his teammates. Don't expect too much. Besides, LaVine, none of his teammates are presently in the top 50 for both player efficiency rating or points per game. The problem is because LaVine is such a gifted scorer, he can help lead the Bulls to some games they really shouldn't win. This is of course problematic because if the Bulls win too many games, they can't qualify for a top 3 pick. And until the draft lottery rules change, there just isn't much value in getting the 7 or 8 seed and losing in the first round of the playoffs. Therefore, the most logical option for Arturas is trying to trade LaVine. The other issue is the NBA is part of a salary cap collective bargaining agreement. This just means that the Bulls have to get players in return where the contracts add up. This isn't too problematic, though. For example, if the Bulls want to dump LaVine, they could easily add Gary Harris's contract from the Denver Nuggets and take a flyer on R.J. Hampton. The main prerogative for the front office is Bulls GM Mark Eversley wants unprotected draft picks and LaVine off the roster. In essence, a LaVine trade means the Bulls are in a full rebuild with the potential for getting a top 3 pick this upcoming June. So, should the Nuggets trade for LaVine? Absolutely. The problem is head coach Mike Malone has to consider if adding a prolific scorer like LaVine to the team would create some locker room chaos. In other words, Malone has to determine the pros and cons of keeping Gary Harris versus taking a chance on LaVine. Would adding LaVine hurt the overall team chemistry? It's hard to definitely say, but probably not. Honestly, the Nuggets probably advanced as far as possible last season with their current roster. A Western Conference Finals appearance is great, but when you have an elite front court player like Jokic on your team, you need to take a chance at competing with the Lakers, Clippers, or even the Jazz. Adding LaVine might still not be enough to compete with LeBron James and the Lakers, but it's worth a shot. The good news for Denver is LaVine's contract is very similar to Harris, so you basically get an upgrade at shooting guard without having to go into the luxury tax to address the upgrade. It seems like a win-win situation for Denver. What other teams should trade for LaVine? The Philadelphia Sixers come to mind as a great fit for going after the Bulls 2 guard. The 76ers could trade Danny Green, which would be very appealing to the Bulls since he's on an expiring deal. The easiest way to rebuild is picking up expiring deals and then starting from scratch in free agency. Like Denver, Philadelphia's draft picks aren't that appealing. However, when they're unprotected, there's a chance that the Bulls could pick in the top 15 during the 2022 draft. LaVine is a good enough player where Chicago could demand unprotected picks in 2021 and 2022. A 2023 76ers unprotected pick is very unlikely to happen for the Bulls, but anything is possible. Denver and Philadelphia are the two teams who desperately need LaVine in order to compete for an NBA title. Denver is especially in need of an isolation player like LaVine since they've been such an enigma on the offensive end. If Philly goes after LaVine, they're pretty much telling the fan base that they're all in when it comes to competing for an NBA title. With their current core of Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris, it's definitely worth a shot. Brooklyn has yet to play unbeatable basketball, but I expect that to change as we get closer to the postseason. However, even with a big three of James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, the big four of Embiid, Simmons, Harris, LaVine might even be better than Brooklyn's humongous three. If Denver and Philly don't pull the trigger on dealing for LaVine, expect the Lakers to factor into the LaVine sweepstakes. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is an excellent role player wing, but he's nowhere the same scoring threat as LaVine. The Lakers have young role players that the Bulls would love to have, Alex Caruso and Montrezl Harrell. The issue for LA is the Lakers have an excellent closer as is, and the main reason they went after Harrell is to weaken their in-city rival, also known as the Clippers. The defending champions might also not see a lot of value in LaVine's game. Remember, the Lakers are the best defensive team in the NBA, something LaVine isn't well known for during his tenure in the association. Would acquiring LaVine actually make the Lakers a worse defensive unit? In my opinion, LaVine's offensive attributes more than make up for his defensive liabilities. Don't sleep on the New York Knicks. They would love to keep winning games and possibly sneak into a 5 seed for the playoffs. Then again, Madison Square Garden won't have any fans during the playoffs. If anything, MSG would be less than 20% capacity. Is it worth it for James Dolan to trade for LaVine and possibly ruin the chemistry they've finally started to get with their good young core? I think that it is, but it might not be for head coach Tom Thibodeau. That being said, the Knicks are certainly making a push for the playoffs. They recently traded for former MVP point guard Derrick Rose, and with COVID-19 still very prevalent in American society, making the postseason would be huge for the Knicks. Even without fans in the stands, New York City sports fans would still watch the NBA playoffs, and with LaVine on the roster, that gives them an even better chance to advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals. But what do you think? Should the Nuggets, 76ers, Lakers, or Knicks trade for LaVine? Make sure to comment below and subscribe to Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com.
LaVine, nice
Good
pass.
cut.
Thaddeus Young with a beautiful
Good
pass.
cut.
Zach LaVine sure knows how to put that orange ball into the hoop, but leading the Chicago Bulls to regular season wins, not so much. Since joining the Bulls during that blockbuster Jimmy Butler mega trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves, LaVine's Bulls have basically been in the lower tier of the Eastern Conference. They've been so below mediocre that Chicago has never reached the 30-win plateau with LaVine as their star attraction. LaVine is a very nice player, and he's arguably the most underrated isolation scorer in the NBA. But are the Bulls going anywhere unless they can get another star player in Chicago? The answer to that question is an obvious no. And with the New York Knicks now showing promise, and the Bulls still hovering around 500, it might once again be hard for LaVine and company to try to entice free agents to sign with Chicago this summer. So, if Arturas and his front office mates can't persuade free agents to play their home games at the United Center, is there really a point in keeping LaVine? Once again, LaVine is an excellent player to have on your team, but if you're never competing for a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, then what is LaVine's true value to the Bulls? In my opinion, LaVine creates more harm to the Bulls than good stuff, and this has nothing to do with his game, well, mostly. His defense is still spotty at best, but you can't argue with his current stat line in 2021. Over 27 points per game and shooting over 51% from the field. Former Bulls two-guard Jimmy Butler is obviously a better two-way player than the very athletic LaVine, but LaVine's shooting numbers can't be ignored. The real issue with LaVine's presence on the team is his scoring numbers can't single-handedly carry the Bulls when they aren't getting significant contributions from their second and third best scorers. Why is that the case? Well, LaVine isn't necessarily a great distributor of the pumpkin. If we consider all guards, his 5.3 assists per game are barely scratching the top 10 in the NBA. So if he can't pass the ball well, he needs major contributions from his teammates. Don't expect too much. Besides, LaVine, none of his teammates are presently in the top 50 for both player efficiency rating or points per game. The problem is because LaVine is such a gifted scorer, he can help lead the Bulls to some games they really shouldn't win. This is of course problematic because if the Bulls win too many games, they can't qualify for a top 3 pick. And until the draft lottery rules change, there just isn't much value in getting the 7 or 8 seed and losing in the first round of the playoffs. Therefore, the most logical option for Arturas is trying to trade LaVine. The other issue is the NBA is part of a salary cap collective bargaining agreement. This just means that the Bulls have to get players in return where the contracts add up. This isn't too problematic, though. For example, if the Bulls want to dump LaVine, they could easily add Gary Harris's contract from the Denver Nuggets and take a flyer on R.J. Hampton. The main prerogative for the front office is Bulls GM Mark Eversley wants unprotected draft picks and LaVine off the roster. In essence, a LaVine trade means the Bulls are in a full rebuild with the potential for getting a top 3 pick this upcoming June. So, should the Nuggets trade for LaVine? Absolutely. The problem is head coach Mike Malone has to consider if adding a prolific scorer like LaVine to the team would create some locker room chaos. In other words, Malone has to determine the pros and cons of keeping Gary Harris versus taking a chance on LaVine. Would adding LaVine hurt the overall team chemistry? It's hard to definitely say, but probably not. Honestly, the Nuggets probably advanced as far as possible last season with their current roster. A Western Conference Finals appearance is great, but when you have an elite front court player like Jokic on your team, you need to take a chance at competing with the Lakers, Clippers, or even the Jazz. Adding LaVine might still not be enough to compete with LeBron James and the Lakers, but it's worth a shot. The good news for Denver is LaVine's contract is very similar to Harris, so you basically get an upgrade at shooting guard without having to go into the luxury tax to address the upgrade. It seems like a win-win situation for Denver. What other teams should trade for LaVine? The Philadelphia Sixers come to mind as a great fit for going after the Bulls two-guard. The 76ers could trade Danny Green, which would be very appealing to the Bulls since he's on an expiring deal. The easiest way to rebuild is picking up expiring deals and then starting from scratch in free agency. Like Denver, Philadelphia's draft picks aren't that appealing. However, when they're unprotected, there's a chance that the Bulls could pick in the top 15 during the 2022 draft. LaVine is a good enough player where Chicago could demand unprotected picks in 2021 and 2022. A 2023 76ers unprotected pick is very unlikely to happen for the Bulls, but anything is possible. Denver and Philadelphia are the two teams who desperately need LaVine in order to compete for an NBA title. Denver is especially in need of an isolation player like LaVine since they've been such an enigma on the offensive end. If Philly goes after LaVine, they're pretty much telling the fan base that they're all in when it comes to competing for an NBA title. With their current core of Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris, it's definitely worth a shot. Brooklyn has yet to play unbeatable basketball, but I expect that to change as we get closer to the postseason. However, even with a big three of James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, the big four of Embiid, Simmons, Harris, LaVine might even be better than Brooklyn's humongous three. If Denver and Philly don't pull the trigger on dealing for LaVine, expect the Lakers to factor into the LaVine sweepstakes. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is an excellent role-player wing, but he's nowhere the same scoring threat as LaVine. The Lakers have young role players that the Bulls would love to have, Alex Caruso and Montrezl Harrell. The issue for LA is the Lakers have an excellent closer as is, and the main reason they went after Harrell is to weaken their in-city rival, also known as the Clippers. The defending champions might also not see a lot of value in LaVine's game. Remember, the Lakers are the best defensive team in the NBA, something LaVine isn't well known for during his tenure in the association. Would acquiring LaVine actually make the Lakers a worse defensive unit? In my opinion, LaVine's offensive attributes more than make up for his defensive liabilities. Don't sleep on the New York Knicks. They would love to keep winning games and possibly sneak into a 5 seed for the playoffs. Then again, Madison Square Garden won't have any fans during the playoffs. If anything, MSG would be less than 20% capacity. Is it worth it for James Dolan to trade for LaVine and possibly ruin the chemistry they've finally started to get with their good young core? I think that it is, but it might not be for head coach Tom Thibodeau. That being said, the Knicks are certainly making a push for the playoffs. They recently traded for former MVP point guard Derrick Rose, and with COVID-19 still very prevalent in American society, making the postseason would be huge for the Knicks. Even without fans in the stands, New York City sports fans would still watch the NBA playoffs, and with LaVine on the roster, that gives them an even better chance to advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals. But what do you think? Should the Nuggets, 76ers, Lakers, or Knicks trade for LaVine? Make sure to comment below and subscribe to Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Coming to you live from the Peg court here at the Spyglass Athletic Center on the campus of St. Francis High School. We have another sports broadcast edition of high school basketball in the great state of Illinois. The Chicago Christian Knights coming into town to take on the home team, the St. Francis Spartans, in front of a socially distant and COVID protocol safe crowd here at the Spyglass Athletic Center. This pregame show is brought to you by Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness, a simple philosophy of listening to the patient. And right now you are listening to Josh Sperber, joined by Bob Villasoet. And Bob, we've got a good game on our hands. Two teams coming off of wins in their last game, and Chicago Christian, the visitors, coming in at 7-1 on the season so far.
Yeah, it's good odds that when you're 7-1, you're going to win again. But we haven't seen Chicago Christian play, but Kyle and I were at a game where we watched St. Francis go to overtime against Aurora Christian. Very interesting offense St. Francis has. Well-coached team. They shoot, if they can, nothing but twos. They work the ball around to get it inside. In that Aurora Christian game, Aurora Christian had a lot of good three-point shooters and worked it around, like the Houston Rockets or Golden State. Drive it in, finger rolls, forget the finger rolls, nope, kick it out for the threes. So it was a contrast to the St. Francis shooting twos, Aurora Christian hitting threes. What was odd about that game? It went to overtime.
Yeah, and overtime is always a threat, and these teams are pretty close in record, and they've got a couple of key scorers that are really going to run the show here. Johnny Deek leads the way in scoring for Chicago Christian, and a guy we talked to before the game for St. Francis was Sebastian Miller, who comes in averaging 16.6 points a game.
Yeah, we talked to him at the Aurora Christian game as well. He's a stud on the court, and look at the two basketballs stuck in the rim right there. But he's a stud on the court. He'll be the player we'd like to see take a little bit more ownership of the ball near the end of the game. I think he's got all the abilities to drive around people, but he's a little bit passive in that Aurora Christian game. So now a couple weeks later, we'll see if he takes it to the rim more.
And Miller, the leading scorer, he's also second on the team in rebounding and assist. And Johnny Deek, a story in and of itself. all-conference last season, and a 3-year starter on Kevin Pittman Sr.'s Chicago Christian Knights team. 19 points a game, about 4.5 assists a game, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals a game. This guy's a monster on both ends of the court.
It's amazing how talented some of these high school players are. So we're about, 15 seconds away from tip-off. There's probably going to be a prayer and a national anthem, though, before it starts, so we'll be quiet during that, as they are finally shutting down the music for this.
And we're going to get to the tip-off, and after the pregame prayer and national anthem, we'll be right back on Sports Broadcast Solutions with some high school basketball. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Third conference matchup between the visiting Knights from Chicago Christian High School and your St. Francis Spartans. We remind you that interscholastic events are an extension of the classroom and that lessons are best learned when the proper respect is accorded to all. Please let your good sportsmanship show during the game. If everyone could rise and remove your hats and lower your heads for the prayer read by senior Jack Nicasio.
Dear Lord, we ask your blessing tonight on the all-student athletes from both Chicago Christian and St. Francis High Schools. We pray that each player be injury-free and excel both on the court and the classroom for the remainder of the school year. May the Holy Spirit bring peace to all those in attendance. St. Francis, pray for us.
Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Tonight's officials are
A lovely pregame prayer from Jack Nicasio, the St. Francis senior, guard forward, averaging 2.7 points a game and 2.3 rebounds a game, as we have the public address announcer holding the starting lineups.
6'1 junior, number 5, Evan Ortiz. The 6'5 senior, number 30, Johnny D. The 6'2 junior, number 32, Tommy Shea. And the 6'6 senior, number 33, Grady Lara. And now the starting lineup for your St. Francis Spartans. From Wheaton, the 6'1 junior, Jack Brennan. From Winfield, the 6'1 junior, Sebastian Miller. From Lombard, the 6'1 junior, Brendan Russo. From Wheaton, the 6'3 senior, Jack Nicasio. And from Wheaton, the 6'3 senior, Ryan Zula.
So they sure have the right music before the game.
Oh, they definitely do. It's not a capacity crowd, but the St. Francis Spartans certainly know how to create a nice game day atmosphere ahead of this this conference matchup between Chicago Christian and St. Francis. And it looks like they're going to be a good one, but due to the COVID protocols, we're starting with a side out at half court as Chicago Christian will get the ball first, and it is going to start in the hands of the junior point guard, Evan Ortiz.
Wouldn't it be nice to have, 500 or 1,000 fans watching this game in addition to all that loud music at the beginning?
And the pass to Lowe is tipped. It is out now to Brady Lorup on the sideline. Absolutely would. You always miss the atmosphere, but it's so different to see with this smaller crowd that you can really hear everything that goes on in the stadium as Lorup has it in the corner. Sends it inside to Lowe, who flashes open. Miller defending, no good, and Lacasio brings down the first board of the game.
It's a great pass under the hoop. Should have used the backboard to put it in, but didn't.
And Miller there, he's got the ball in the top left behind the three-point line, sends it to Zuloff. Now outside to Brennan.
Passed up on a wide open three. Interesting. Let's see if he passes up on those later in the game.
Miller from the corner going up top to Yaruso. Yaruso driving inside, sends the lofting pass into Brian Zuloff for the first bucket of the game.
And there's where the patient St. Francis offense, they could have taken that three but didn't. Instead got a sure two underneath the hoop.
Zuloff averaging just under 3 points a game on the season, is the first man on the board tonight. Ortiz sends it to Lowe. Lowe kicks it out to the leading scorer, Johnny Deek. 875 career points for Deek. Looking to get that 1,000 career
there's
mark.
A foul. Totally hit him on the elbow. No call. Yokes.
Foul or not, it looks like it's going to be a block, and that's going to be Brennan who is going to get that block there, and now it's outside to Yaruso. Thought about the three, did Lacasio. Now it's inside. Yaruso kicks it out to Miller. Deek defending him. We're going to watch that matchup all day long.
Again, they had an open three that they passed up. I like this offense. Very patient.
It's different with, you see a lot of three shooting in today's game of basketball. As Yaruso drives inside, kicks out to Brennan, the first three attempt of the game, off the top of the backboard, out of play.
Out of bounds, Knights ball.
So Chicago Christian will control it. It's going to be Deek near the midcourt line. Some soft pressure from the Spartans, but Chicago Christian able to get it over the court easy. Now in the hands of Ortiz. And that one's poked away by Lacasio. Lacasio defended on the layup, tries to fight around contact, misses the basket, and it's going to go off of Brennan. So great transition defense from the Knights.
They had a chance at the layup, then they had a chance at the rebound, and lost the ball, unfortunately.
And Deek dribbles it almost off his foot, recovers. Now it's back out to Tommy Schaff. Collecting its Lorup. Driving to the mid-range jumper off the back of the rim into the hands of Jack Brennan. Now Yaruso in transition, pulls up for the three, no good. Rims out to Johnny Deek. Deek sends the long pass, a great look to Lorup, and it goes down, plus the foul.
Pushed from behind, what a play.
Free throws for the first time today, and Brady Lorup, averaging 15 a game on the season, is going to head to the line to shoot one. All tied at 2 at the 5:20 mark of this first quarter. And Lorup hits the first free throw of the game to give the Knights their first lead. Miller brings it up for St. Francis. Miller sends it back for Yaruso. Drive, kicks. Mishandling the passes, Lacasio, so he'll send it around the horn. Now with it is Zuloff. Miller driving, and that one is blocked, but a foul called, and that's going to be Justin Lowe sending Sebastian Miller to the line. So free throws for the first time for the Spartans.
Number 2, Justin Lowe, Sebastian Miller at the line.
Miller makes the first to tie this game up at 3. No subs yet for either side as Miller sends the second one in the net to make it 4-3 Spartans. Each team looks like they're going to play about 8 to 10 players. Pretty tight rotations for the coaches on these slightly bigger than average high school teams. Ortiz controls it. Muffs the pass, but Schaff picks it up. Some off-ball screen set by Lorup, looking to get open for three. He's instantly covered. And Lowe dishes it inside. Back to the basket is Schaff. Kicks it out to Lowe. Lowe driving. The layup, no. And Miller pulls down the board. Here come the Spartans. Pressing up court, but Johnny Deek with a great transition defense. Now Brennan's got it in the corner, closely defended by Ortiz. Now it's Yaruso up top. Back to Brennan. Yaruso and Brennan, a two-man game. Brennan pivots, looking inside, finds Yaruso on the left side. He's guarded by Lorup. Yaruso off the screen from Miller. Deke switches on to him. Now Miller matching up with Lorup. Miller tries to step back, has it poked away. Gets out into the hands, and a nice pass inside. Lacascio the dish, and Brennan with the bucket.
That's what we like to see. St. Francis driving, maybe dishing off, taking high percentage shots.
Lacascio going under the table to find Brennan and making a 6-3 Spartan as Deke pulls up and Brennan gets the rebound off the missed shot. Miller pulls up the transition three, back iron, no good. Rebounded by Schaff.
Uncharacteristic early shot in the shot clock.
Laura muscling his way in off the front of the rim and into the basket for Brady Lorup. He's got five tonight. Yaruso bringing it up slowly, finds Brennan in the corner, guarded by Ortiz. And Lorup falls down, taking advantage as Lacascio has it taken away from him. Now Lorup getting the high arcing pass. A nice over-the-shoulder flip to Johnny Deek for his first bucket of the game. 7-6 is the lead now in favor of Chicago Christian.
So if we're keeping track of fast break points, Chicago Christian has at least 4.
Yeah, they're definitely doing some work in transition. St. Francis definitely taking a more measured approach as Brennan in the corner. Three, back iron, no good. Deke pulls down the board.
Another bomb.
And a high arcing pass to Brady Lorup. Lorup muscles his way in, and the foul. Physical play in transition from Brady Lorup, and he's got his second chance of an and one on the night. And a timeout's going to be called before the free throw, our first of the game, and we're going to take a short break here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. 9-6 the score. The visiting Chicago Christian will come to the line. And we're back here at Coach Peg Kopech Court here in the Spyglass Athletic Center on the campus of St. Francis High School. And Chicago Christian is heading to the line, and it's Brady Lorup who's responsible for 7 of the 9 points so far for the Knights, with a chance to make it 8.
And now the Knights are up to 6 of those 9 points in transition, plus in this case the 7th point for the 3-point attempt on the foul.
And a second three-point play opportunity for the Knights, both of them coming from Brady Lorup, who looks to go 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
So St. Francis is going to have to keep one of their guards back to avoid that long bomb from happening each time.
And first free throw missed by Lorup.
Yeah, frankly, it's an easy adjustment, but it's an adjustment St. Francis has to make.
We'll see how they adjust on offense. Still taking the possession basketball as Miller pivots and fires to Yaruso, who hits the three. Brendan Yaruso drains the first triple of the night to tie it up. And an instant steal. On the other end, it's Sean Killian who's going inside and pulling back after Chicago Christian recovered. And Miller driving, slicing through the lane off the front rim.
Got his own rebound, fadeaway shot.
And the fadeaway jumper's off the mark from Miller, rebounded by Ortiz. Ortiz inside to Lowe. low. The nice back to the basket move. You don't see a lot of post-ups like that.
Muscled it in right underneath. Now that's a problem because he can do that all game long.
And something that Sebastian Miller told us before the game is that they're going to have to deal with the size from Chicago Christian because the Knights are just a bigger team than St. Francis. Yaruso, another three, back iron, no good. And grabbing the board, falling down, is Tommy Schaff. He quickly recovers, gives it to Lorup.
Yeah, if that was James Harden dribbling, it would have been a foul on the other guy.
And Schaff hands it off to Deke. Deke kicks it out to Ortiz. Ortiz with the left hand under the basket. A nice move. And Justin Lowe with the finish.
Justin Lowe can get that all day long. St. Francis is going to have to make another defensive adjustment there.
Can't forget that nifty pass from Evan Ortiz, averaging 2 assists a game, and he's already hit that plateau tonight. Yaruso in the right corner, trying to find his man. Miller fires from 3 over Lorup. Front rim, no good. Miller gets his own board.
It's twice in a row. Miller shot the ball and got his own rebound.
And a timeout called by Aaron Dwyer from St. Francis, and we're going to take a break. You're watching Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
50 seconds left in the first quarter, a 13-9 lead in favor of Chicago Christian, and a side out for the St. Francis Spartans, as one of the only starters still remaining on the floor is Brendan Yaruso. Now Killian. Yaruso gets it again in the quarter, looking inside for Killian, can't find him. Chambor getting his first action of the game, sends it back to Yaruso, calling the plays. The general on the court now is Yaruso kicks it out to Chambor. Now Kiesler back to Yaruso. 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Spartans down 4. Lorup on Yaruso.
So they're playing for the last shot now. It's just 10 seconds ago.
And no shot clock. And St. Francis needs to hurry up as Deke almost poked that away. Yaruso's got it now. Yaruso fighting for the open shot. The heave of a 3, and it's good! Second 3 of the half from Brendan Yaruso, and what a way to end off that quarter.
So we multiply the 12 and the 13 by 4, and we're going to be at, what, 48 points, 52 final score?
We'll see how the math goes, but one thing that we do know is that the bird is the word. Find out why everybody's saying that the bird is the word. In Wheaton, Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness is the word. Shoveling snow and hurt your lower back? Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness will get you better. Want to improve your golf game this summer? Albatross Physical Therapy will get you ready. Having aches and pains training for the upcoming race season? Albatross Physical Therapy will ensure that you are prepared for the challenge. Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free. They offer techniques that involve hands-on, personalized, one-on-one care that will surely show you relief from headaches, pain of the lower back, neck, shoulders, knees, hips, and a range of other muscle and joint injuries. But don't take our word for it. Have a look at Albatross's stellar Google reviews and see for yourself why everybody's saying that the bird is the word. Look for the huge orange bird wings at 600 South County Farm Road, suite number 201 in Wheaton, 680-187. Call now and take advantage of their Valentine's Day specials, 30-minute CBD massage for only $30. They accept most health insurance plans and in most cases do not require a doctor's referral for treatment. For more information, call 630-446-5660 or email them at albatrossphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. And we're back with Brendan Yaruso after his second 3 of the night, as that ball intended for Killian was knocked away and Chicago Christian will retain possession. Just at the start of this second period, the Knights have a 13-12 lead behind 6 points from Brady Lorup. Lorup
was posting up. He was wide open to pass it to, but they chose not to this time.
Lorup instead cuts to the three-point line. Johnny Deek, who's been relatively quiet. Lowe's got it inside. Now Lowe gets it back. The layup is good, and Justin Lowe using his size to get what he wants inside. 6 points on the night for the senior center.
Like we said, he's going to be able to get those all night long. That was a simple give and go underneath, and nobody could hang with the size.
And Lowe certainly asserting his physical presence as Yaruso has it on the right wing. Rip move and a foul called. It's going to be Tommy Schaff drawing the foul. So Schaff's first, and that one was on the floor. So it'll be an under the basket inbound from St. Francis. Brennan gets it into Yaruso. Yaruso driving the lane, aggressive off the rim. Brennan gets the rebound, has it knocked away, but a foul called. Might be Schaff who's the culprit again. A couple of purple jerseys around Jack Brennan there.
That was a nice rebound. Brennan, who's been around the three-point line the whole game so far, I like that he was under the boards getting that rebound, and that's what drew the foul.
And aggression from Schaff, his second foul in just about as many seconds, sending Jack Brennan to the line for the first time.
Makes you think, though, Miller's not in the game at the moment, so maybe Brennan feels like with Miller out, he has to do the rebounding underneath.
Well, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Sebastian Miller checking in for Brendan Yaruso. Taking a short break at the end of that first quarter as Brennan mixed the first free throw.
So Brennan will probably end up at the three-point line again.
Back iron, no good. 0 for 2 from Brennan from the line there, and Deek's going to bring it up for the Knights. To Ortiz now on the right side, guarded by Brennan. Sends it to Sturzma. Deek now, the pull-up, instead gives it to Lowe. Lowe double team, the spin move off the cup and in. Beautiful roll for Justin Lowe. He's got 8 on the night. Now Miller's got it inside. A nice cut from Chambor, but he can't finish. Lorup gets the board, sends it ahead to Deek. Deek avoiding the defender. The mid-range pull-up is good. Johnny Deek has his second bucket of the night, and it's a 19-12 lead for Chicago Christian.
Well, you can see where Chicago Christian is 7-1. They've got weapons inside and outside.
And those weapons are firing on cylinders. St. Francis struggling to get something going on offense.
Add to that a stifling defense.
And that's a steal for the leading stealer for Chicago Christian. And no-look pass to Ortiz, who can't finish on the layup.
Well, I think I know why he couldn't finish on that. You'll have to replay that. But, boy, it looked like he got fouled on that play.
And some pressure from St. Francis. Corner three from Chambor, no good. And Chicago Christian letting him hear it. And Chambor frustrated, fouling Brady Lorup as he's coming up the floor. And a substitution now for St. Francis. Checking in is going to be Jack Locasio and Brian Zuloff. And it's going to be free throws as... Oh, no, it's not. My apologies. So the check-ins will happen. Coming in is going to be Locasio and Zuloff, and off comes Zach Jurdy and Nick Chambor. Deek brings it up. Miller guarding him at the top of the key. Crossover from Deek. Now to the left of him to Sturzma. Low to Ortiz, the point man. Lorup thinks about the three. Long distance, and it's good. Brady Lorup on fire with 9 points tonight. 10-point lead for the Knights now with 5.5 remaining in this second quarter. Stifling perimeter defense there from the Knights. Brennan's got it. Swings it back to Locasio. To Miller now. Miller with a screen on the left side. Takes it, switches on the man. Step back, doesn't shoot. And it looks like a travel is going to be called. Sean Killian shuffling his feet. And the turnover for St. Francis. They have yet to score this quarter.
That's a ticky-tack travel call, but he dropped the ball, or moved his foot before he dropped the ball, and that's, the referees will call it every time.
You got to keep a pivot foot down there, Bob. Ortiz has it now on the right side as the Knights are cruising on offense. A well-oiled machine right now. So the ball goes inside to Sturzma. Sturzma kicks it out to Lowe. Now Ortiz looking inside again. Sturzma pulls up at the top of the key. Sends it to Lowe now. Lowe to Lorup. To Ortiz. The Knights swinging around the perimeter, and now Deek shuffles out to try and make it work again. Lorup driving baseline inside to Lowe. Mishandles the pass, sends it in. Miller deflects it. Miller comes up with a steal. Sebastian Miller avoids the contact, but gets the miss as Lowe rebounds and saves it to Deek. Knights pushing. Deke looked like he traveled, but no call, and misses the layup on the front rim. Coming right back is Sean Killian. Killian can't make the layup.
Yes, he was pushed in the back. This is an up and down game.
And a very quick sequence, and Coach Kevin Pittman Sr. is going to respond by calling the first timeout of the quarter for Chicago Christian, and we're going to call a timeout as well. A 10-point lead for the Knights.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Four minutes and 11 seconds left in this second quarter. A 10-point lead for the Chicago Christian Knights. And Bob, what does St. Francis have to do to get back in this one?
Well, they first have to break down this stifling defense. I do think they need to drive the hoop and fall down when you get contact, so it forces the ref to call the foul. So one thing is you got to get to the line. Secondly, I don't know how you stop the down-low offense from Chicago Christian. Maybe front the down-low post, but they've got a wonderful offense. 3 guards on the outside, 2 posts, mixing it up underneath. They pass it down low. If they've got the shot, great. If they don't, they kick it out and continue to go.
And they say you can't teach size, and Chicago Christian trying to prove to St. Francis they can't guard it.
Well, they've not only got size, but they've got talent and a good offensive scheme. Well-coached team, the Chicago Christian group. There's a steal, though.
They do. As Deke's pass was mishandled. Now Miller looking for their first coin. It's blocked by Laura.
Great block, clean from behind.
And now diving on the floor to get that is Zach Sudeikis. And a timeout called by Pittman before they could call a jump. So 2 timeouts in a row for Chicago Christian there. And again, it looked like the Spartans had a break, but then Brady Lorup came up with a chase down.
It's been a while since we've had a basket scored.
It's been about a minute and a half since a basket's been scored for Tri-State. It's been almost, a lot more than that. It's been closer to 5 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, I do think, though, there have been some fouls that probably should have or could have been called in there at least anyway, but it's a fast up and down game.
Really, the pace really going in Chicago's Christian's favor. You see when St. Francis has the ball, they've really tried to slow it down and get calculated possessions instead of just attack like we've seen from the Knights.
Yeah, when the offenses get patient, I like both of them. They definitely try and drive toward the 2-pointers there. Neither team is goaling their goal to shoot 3-pointers here.
And they're certainly not settling for shots, but the 3-point advantage is towards St. Francis. 2 threes made by Brendan Uruso, and that's just about the only thing we've seen from behind the arc today.
Well, that's half their points, too.
That it is, as Sudeikis sends it to Deke.
All right, I like this 1-3-1 trap defense. So St. Francis is not just going to go down with the same defense from before. They're changing it. Yeah. See if this works any better.
And a corner 3 from Sudeikis, fires, and it's good.
One thing about a 1-3-1 defense is the corners are usually open. If Chicago Christian can hit those 3-pointers from the baseline, St. Francis is going to have to get out of that 1-3-1 trap.
You saw the Spartans responding to Lowe's 8-point first quarter as a foul called. And you saw the Spartans responding to Justin Lowe's 8-point first quarter by doubling him in the paint down low. Giving up the 3 in the process. Uruso tries to answer, no good. Off the rim and the backboard, and it's going the other way.
Well, that's that 1-3-1 trap we're talking about. Whoever gets the ball gets a trap, and that's the intent, to try to get the ball out of whoever has the ball's hands, and then you try to steal the pass.
Uruso 2 for 4 from the 3-point line as Ortiz bringing it up for the Knights. Sudeikis and Deke with a 2-man game.
There's the steal they wanted.
Lazy pass. Miller comes up with a steal in the hands of Uruso now. Uruso, the spin move, the turnaround jumper, no good. He's fighting for the rebound, but it ends up with Deke. 3-on-1 fast break for the Knights. Nice look to Lorup with an easy layup.
And one.
Wow, a late foul call, and for the 3rd time tonight, you see Brady Lorup going to the line to try and complete the 3-point play. Lorup, the first player in double figures. He's got 10 now. Looking to make it 11.
Yeah, I like the way Chicago Christian busts out on the fast break. At the end of the game, it's fully half of their points might be fast breaks the way things are going.
So 2 out of 3 from the line in total on the night from Lorup, giving him 10 on the night. And now Miller's got it. A big point drought for the Spartans. They're looking to respond. Yaruso calling out the plays, now in the hands of Brennan at the top of the key. Yaruso again. Switching up top to Zulov. Zulov in the corner for Brennan. Bounce pass, Yaruso, turnaround, jumper, and it falls.
St. Francis patience paid off. They got a little short jumper on the baseline. Easy shot. 2 points.
Yaruso's got 8 of the Spartans' 14. And we got 2 minutes to go in the second.
So they're staying in that 1-3-1 trap.
And Lorup drives the baseline. Great speed, great acceleration, and 12 points for the senior.
Just cannot let somebody take the baseline on you. You have to turn that
and
dribble into the
Yaruso
middle.
driving. What a play! Contorting his body to get the and one. Yaruso's got double figures. 10 of St. Francis' 16 points, and he's going to the line to add one more.
Well, if he makes this free throw, now they can get to the halfway point in scoring. Oh, there we go, 16-30.
And Yaruso drains the free throw. He's got 11. And it's a 13-point lead now for the Knights.
Staying in the 1-3-1 trap.
And Ortiz kicks out to Lorup, drawing the double. Lorup looking for the open man, pivots away. Deke thinks about it, tries to fire. Ortiz back to Lorup in the corner. Lorup with his right hand inside to Lowe. Lowe in the post, double teamed, fighting off the defenders, can't put it in. Ball goes in the hands of Lorup. Cross court pass to Sturzma, kicks around to Deke. Ortiz, Lorup in the corner, baseline again, mauled
hammered
by about 3 different white jerseys. And back to the line goes Brady Lorup.
Fouls on number 21, Jack Lacasio.
It's going to be Jack Lacasio charged with the foul.
But again, gave him baseline. You just have to turn that dribble into the middle of the court where you get help.
A second possession in a row, you see Lorup driving baseline. This time he earns a trip to the line for 2 free throws for the first time. He's been to the line for and ones twice already as he makes the first free throw there. As Lacasio is going to check out, Zach Jurdy, the senior center, is coming in. Tallest player on the St. Francis team at 6'5".
Yeah, St. Francis needs a little bit more height.
And Lorup misses off the front rim. 31-17 is your score with a minute left in the second quarter. Yaruso driving on Lorup. Pull up 3, swish. Cash money from your LaRusso. He's got 13. Now Ortiz has it top of the key. Sends the pass too much for Sturzma. Ortiz will get it back from Ortiz with the left hand inside to Lorup. Lorup mishandles the pass, but recovers for the easy layup. 15 for him.
That zone caused a lot of trouble until that point, though, so they may stay in that zone. That's the best they can do so far. Chicago Christian is a scoring machine.
And Yaruso taking it personally, trying to do the offense himself. That
Another
one at
fast
time he
break.
can't connect. Here comes Ortiz on the fast break. Ortiz through the legs, maybe he mishandled it, but it ends up in the hand of Lorup. Thought about the 3. Ortiz driving baseline behind the back with the left hand. Great defense from Yaruso.
It was. They cut off the baseline, turned him into the middle, and there was more resistance there. Now reach and foul.
Yeah, foul on Ortiz as Miller was breaking loose for that fast break. He wants that transition play a lot. And we got 9 seconds left in the second quarter. 33-20 is your score with Chicago Christian at commanding lead as Miller pushing, looking for the Spartans in the last shot. Yaruso's got it. Yaruso fades away, air ball. Ortiz gets the board, and that will do it for the end of this second period.
Just Crush Sports is a hybrid of entertainment, sports media, and digital video technology for all athletes and all ages. At Just
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Welcome back to Coach Peg Kopech Court here at Spyglass Athletic Center on the campus of St. Francis High School. Josh Sperber here with Bob Villasowit. And Bob, it's been all Chicago Christian so far, as we're going to go through a little bit the stats, but I mean, what are your thoughts of this first half so far? 13-point lead for the Knights.
Well, first off, it's only a 13-point lead. The way Chicago Christian has been playing, they had doubled their score. They were ahead like 30-14 at one point in that game. So the Spartans did a great job to get the last 6 points there at the end. But there's a lot going on here. Chicago Christian, they have a great inside offense, and they're tall and strong. So when they get the ball underneath, it's a handful to one-on-one against those players, which caused St. Francis to go into a zone to try and double team everybody everywhere, try to get turnovers. That was partially successful late in the second half, so expect St. Francis to stay in that. Continuing with the Knights, not only do they have big size underneath, they have a wonderful fast break. So they get the rebound and they are out as quick as they can. Now in our high school days, we were always taught to hit the outlet and then center the ball and go down court with a 3-on-2, something like that. Chicago Christian, they don't care how they get out. They break out quickly. And I was watching some old Bulls games, and the Bulls don't care to get the outlet. They just want to get the ball down court when the Bulls were in their heyday. They got a lot of points and fast breaks, and that's what Chicago Christian is doing. And then finally on offense, there's a lot of motion. Now against the 1-3-1, there's less motion, so by going to the 1-3-1 defense, St. Francis has closed down some of that motion, but they're just a big handful underneath. It's a lot they'll have to overcome for St. Francis.
Yeah, something that 1-3-1 has done was neutralize Justin Lowe, who was dominant in the post in that first quarter. He had 8 points, but he was 0 for 2 in the second because he was shooting up against double teams. Brady Lorup has been the guy on offense. He's got 15 points. He's been to the line about 4 different times, 3 of them after a basket. I mean, he's played so dominantly on the offensive side so far.
Right, and then from St. Francis' perspective too, Brendan Yaruso is taking this game personally and under his belt. He's scoring from inside and from outside, not being shy about taking shots.
He's not. He's the only guy who's made a 3 other than Zach Sudeikis. He's made 3 triples so far out of 7 attempted. He's got 11 of the Spartans' 20 points. But I mean, it's just this simple, Bob. Other Spartans just have to step up.
They do have to step up. I liked what Brendan did when he started out outside. Didn't take some of his shots, but later on got underneath the boards, which I liked to see. And then Sebastian Miller, I also would like to see a little bit more from underneath. He's going to have to match up with some of that size. And I think he's capable of taking it into the hoop, causing all kinds of foul trouble. At least if you don't get the layup, kick it back out and continue with your offense.
And Miller looked at the start of the game like he was going to be the linchpin of this offense. He was bringing the ball up a lot. He was pushing it in transition and making some nice plays, but doesn't have much to show for it so far. That perimeter defense from Chicago Christian has been shutting him down. But I mean, how can Coach Dwyer work over his offense to get Miller more involved?
Well, yeah, exactly. What to do? I would try to get more fast break points and get Miller out in the open court. That's what you get the rebound, get it to the outlet, get it down. Hopefully Miller can finish on the fast breaks. You're only down by 13 points. Let's call it 6 possessions roughly, right? So you got to make 6 stops and you got to get 6 fast breaks to get the score tied. Now, at this pace, though, they're going to have to do something different, right? Because if it goes this way, it's basketball, like any sport, it's kind of like a computer program, right? If you keep doing the same thing will happen. So at this rate, 66-40 is going to be the final score, which is a larger lead than we had at the first quarter, which was, 52-48 would have been the game final at that prediction. So they were up by 1 point at the first quarter and now 12 more points after halftime. So the adjustments Chicago Christian have made are better than the adjustments so far that St. Francis has made.
Yeah, then they worked the ball out to the perimeter when they pinched inside to defend Lowe, and Lowe's been getting what he wants, and Chicago Christian have been taking advantage of it in the paint. We're almost back to some action here at St. Francis High School. Stay tuned for more high school basketball on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks, but you don't have to worry about that anymore thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
And just about 20 seconds left before we start this game again, as you see a close-up of Aaron Dwyer talking to some of his starters for St. Francis, and some adjustments certainly need to be made, as we mentioned, Bob. But if you're Coach Dwyer right now, what are you telling your Spartans to do?
Penetrate on offense, continue to stay as aggressive as you possibly can on defense. If I have a press, I think I would implement it.
And it's certainly the press might be the key against this lightning-fast Chicago Christian offense. Certainly a tale of two different pace-related teams.
Yeah, they're going to have to get back in this game with turnovers, so you got to stay aggressive. Now, here it looks like they're going back into their man-to-man defense. Let's see how that works out now after playing the last half of that second quarter in a 1-3-1.
As Lowe starting up top, looking to set some screens and work his way down low.
Yeah, these big guys underneath are tough to handle.
Lowe inside to Schaff. Schaff in the post move, moving his pivot foot, and the foul. Tommy Schaff getting basket number 3 on the night and going to the line for one more. So that pace from Chicago Christian that we've seen can go right to just punishing offenses in the paint. These Knights have been unstoppable.
Yeah, I don't think the St. Francis can stop them in this man-to-man defense. They're just too big underneath.
And Schaff makes his free throw. That gives him 7 points on the night as Jack Brennan's going to bring it up. He'll sling it to Yaruso, the leading scorer for the Spartans. Brennan in the corner. Ortiz
Chicago
on
Christian
him.
is in a man-to-man defense here. Oh, got the travel. Again, a ticky-tack call. I don't really like that call, but that's not my call to make.
It looked like Miller shuffled his feet at the top of the key there, and an early turnover for the Spartans after the Knights started it off with 3 points. 36-20 the score, 7.5 left in the third.
Underneath again.
And Laura up on the inside and misses the layup. Defense there by Yaruso. Ball now in the hands of Miller as the Spartans slowly bringing it up. Again, that controlled possession offense is Miller going off the screen, driving baseline, can't find a hole, hits it off the foot of Brennan, and it's going to be a turnover on the Spartans. So 2 turnovers in 2 possessions for St. Francis. Not the half you want to start off with, but trailing by 16.
No, you want to get the turnovers going the other way, not for them.
And Evan Ortiz bringing the ball up now to Lowe. Now Deke. Ortiz sends it inside to Lowe. Lowe has it blocked, but a foul called. And that one's going against Brian Zuloff for the second time today. So Lowe, 8 points, all in the first quarter. He's heading to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
He's just a handful underneath the boards. You probably have to double to get the ball out of his hands.
And that's what St. Francis tried in that second quarter, doubling him in that 1-3-1 trap zone.
Well,
as
that's
Lowe
when they
makes the
started
first
to
one.
make their minimal comeback, right? When they were in that defense.
They did. And Lowe off the back iron and good. He's got 10 on the night, second night, third player overall in double figures. Lorup has 15, and Brendan Uruso has 11 for the Spartans. Miller in the corner. Working it towards the middle. Uruso swings it. Mid-range pull-up. It's good.
He is feeling it today.
And if you're a Spartan fan and looking for a bright spot, it is Brendan Uruso. He is hitting every shot he's taken almost as Brennan gets the steal but steps out of bounds. So it'll stay right here with Chicago Christian.
I like what he did. St. Francis has to get turnovers, get back in this game, and he got into the passing lane and almost made the steal.
He did half the work, but Ortiz inbounds it now for the Knights. Schaff now to Lorup. Deke. Schaff again. Deke, the pull-up 3. It's good. Johnny Deke is a walking bucket. 7 points on the night for him.
An uncharacteristic shot from downtown in another zip code from Chicago Christian.
And almost losing it's Lacasio. He's spinning, fires the shot up. I think it's on the floor. Basket doesn't count anyway.
I was thinking that could have been an extra step in there, but if they're going to let him have it, you can get a lot of points doing that.
Foul going against Tommy Schaff. That's his third. And Lacasio going to the line for the first time tonight. Lacasio, who said the prayer before the game, as 2 substitutions are made. Off comes Brennan and Miller. In come Zach Jurdy and Logan McLeod.
I didn't notice that. Lacasio did the pregame prayer?
Yeah.
What a nice touch.
Maybe they switch off seniors doing it every game as Lacasio misses the second free throw.
What a great thing. I didn't know this school did that.
Good to see the student athletes getting involved in all aspects of how the game gets prepared. As an offensive foul called, Zach Jurdy, as soon as he steps on the court, pushes down Brady Lorup. And it's going the other way as Dwyer coming up to half court to have a conversation with the referee.
You better believe I'm going to play that back later on sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. I want to see that. Was it really an offensive foul or was that a fake?
Oh, it looked like it was a foul. Some contact body to body, Jurdy on Lorup. As the refs doing an excellent job officiating today as Deke sends it now. Sturzma to Ortiz, down low, Lorup. Sends it back out to Ortiz. Thought about the 3. The pump fake. Sends it inside. Deflected. Lorup has it now. Lorup, the fall-away shot. No good. Uruso rebounds it before it can trickle out of bounds.
The intensity on St. Francis' defense has been turned up like tenfold since the beginning of this game. If they're not going to win, they're not going to go down easy.
They're certainly going down fighting as of now. An 18-point lead is Deke for 3. No good. And letting it go is Jurdy. And the Spartans will take control under their own basket. 41-23 is your score. 3 minutes have gone by in this third period. Now Uruso. Uruso bounce pass inside, and it's blocked away by Lorup. Getting his own rebound is Zuloff, and Lorup affecting the shot again. Jurdy with the rebound. No. Jurdy misses it, but the foul called on the ground. I think it's going to be Sturzma, the culprit.
We need one of those high-definition cameras right under the basket. I'm thinking there were a couple of fouls in there, too, that got not called.
Yeah, definitely a lot of contact there. It's going to be Justin Lowe who ends up with the call. He doesn't like it. And a timeout's called on the floor, and we'll take a timeout in the booth as well. 41-23 is your score. We still have half of the third period coming up.
Don't worry about that anymore. Thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
And it's an 18-point lead for the Knights, but it's going to be the Spartans who have the ball coming off of that Justin Lowe foul. Josh Sperber and Bob Villasowit here for you. And it's been all night so far today, Bob, but St. Francis is certainly showing their resilience tonight.
I like the way they turned up their intensity. It's like I said, if they're going to go down at least with a lot of intensity. Now, one would hope that they can start out the game with that intensity, but Chicago Christian, despite that intensity, has every bit of their own level of intensity. This Chicago Christian, they have a lot of weapons inside and outside.
Intensity, definitely the word of the day. It's not something that has been lacking in this game, as we're going to go under the basket for Brian Zuloff to inbound it. His dad, John, played at Michigan State, so basketball in his blood. As a bounce pass and a nice post move off the mark from McLeod. Loose ball on the floor. On the carpet are a couple of players.
And you were talking about intensity before. You know, that's the very definition of intensity. One guy didn't land on the floor, and then two guys didn't land on the floor. Looked like half the teams landed on the floor just for one loose ball. Excellent job.
I think it was McLeod and Yaruso who tied up Ryan Sturzma there. As another bounce pass inside. Jurdy gets it to fall. Zach Jurdy, averaging under 1 point a game this season, gets that one to go, his first deuce of the game.
I like that inbounds play St. Francis run. They actually ran it like 3 times in a row. It had inside layups 3 times in a row. Finally, that one went.
And the strong perimeter defense again, forcing the turnover for the Spartans, trying to chip away at this Knights lead. But yeah, on that last possession, we saw 2 inbounds plays end up with easy looks for the Spartans. So that's something that you're going to see more of probably as Yaruso steps out of bounds and Spartans give the ball right back. So Ortiz and Deke getting ready. Looks like Evans calling out a play for the Knights. Lorup is doubled. Lowe has it inside to Ortiz. Oh!
Just outright
easy
missed the
opportunity.
layup. No contact underneath, nothing, just missed it. Great play to get underneath and wide open, though.
And well executed, but Ortiz couldn't get his first bucket of the night to fall.
We've seen some good execution under the hoop on both teams here. Those inbounds passes, that last play.
Yaruso corner
and Yaruso
three!
Again.
Yaruso's got 4 triples on the night and 14 points. Lorup trying to answer air ball into the hands of Jurdy. Now Yaruso.
Yeah, that wasn't the way to answer Yaruso's 3 with an air ball of your own.
And you always want to answer 3 with 3, as it's a 13-point lead for Chicago Christian with Yaruso taking on Sturzma. Yaruso, the crossover, driving inside, kicks out, shot up from Lacasio, and it's good. Just inside the three-point line, and it's an 11-point game.
So this is what happens when you turn up the intensity. You get a couple of steals on defense, you rattle the other team a little bit, you score a couple baskets, and you feel like you can win this game even though you're down by 11.
And St. Francis is chipping away, and something you hear the team doing is just clapping to try and distract this Knights offense. We were here for some of the freshman and JV games, and both St. Francis teams did that.
And a jump ball, some more intensity on defense that caused that jump ball.
Yeah, Lorup is tied up, and that possession arrow is going to send it to Chicago Christian. But Yaruso doing a great job on defense to tie up Lorup, the 2 leading scorers of the game.
This has got to be a great confidence builder for St. Francis. No matter if they win, lose, or draw this game, they now know that they have to play basketball at a higher level of intensity the rest of the season to be more successful.
And a high percentage shot for Justin Lowe. He's got 12 on the night, getting the easy deuce under the basket. Now Lacasio sends it inside. Jurdy backing down low. Jurdy to his right hand. The baby hook off the backboard and in. 43-32 with 2.5 left in the third. And those claps from St. Francis are getting louder and louder, echoing through the stadium in this COVID-safe crowd. Laura to Ortiz, passes up the open three to go inside. A nice dish to Lowe. Justin Lowe on the Ortiz assist.
St. Francis.
That's another nifty pass we've seen from Evan Ortiz. And he's got 5 assists so far tonight. And Chicago Christian still in control. 45-32 when we come back. And Uruso bring it up for the Spartans, down 13 with 2 minutes left. Jurdy inside, a nice look to McLeod, but he can't make it. And Johnny Deek picks up the board.
If this turns into one of those 2-point games at the end of the game, you have to remember that layup. Wide open underneath, should have gone in.
A lot of work for the Spartans to make that happen, but it's Deek at the top of the key. Inside to Lowe, backing down Jurdy, and Jurdy with the block. Emphatic stuff of Lowe, and St. Francis has it going the other way. Kicks out to Lacasio on the corner. He's defended closely by Laura. Lacasio switched to Lowe now. Jurdy inside, doubled by Laura, but reach-in foul called on Ryan Sturzma.
You know, as well as these teams have played on defense, we haven't seen very many reach-in calls called. So the defenses are moving their feet as opposed to reaching in with their hands. Excellent defenses, both teams.
Checked out the foul on Brady Lorup, actually, as Sturzma is going to check out of the action for Zach Sudeikis, getting his second stint on the court tonight. 1.5 minutes left in the third. Has a lofting inbound going to Zach Jurdy.
Looks like Chicago Christian came wise to those little layups after the inbounds pass underneath.
Adjustments, and we're certainly seeing it from the Knights, who are in control, but McLeod in control of it now. Hand off to Lacasio. Lacasio looking for Uruso. He's covered. Uruso off the screen. Lowe switched on to him. Kick out to McLeod. McLeod has it taken away by Deek and a foul called.
You know, that looked like a good steal to me, but I don't mind that call being made. If you hit his arms, the ref has a closer view than I have. You can't give away steals by letting people hit people's arms.
That steal took away a clean, fast break layup attempt as a substitution's going to be made now. Sebastian Miller coming on, and Brendan Uruso, the leading scorer for the Spartans, is going to be checking out. Check that, it's going to be Logan McLeod leaving the action. Uruso has 4 threes on the night.
I don't know why the ball would be taken out underneath the hoop in this scenario. Should be out on the side would be my guess. The foul was out on top.
I think the refs might be trying to work that out because that's originally where McLeod was lined up and Miller went low. Now he's going back up to the sidelines where he's going to inbound it. So a little bit of confusion. But we're back here, and Uruso's going to take it past half court. Brendan crossing the timeline.
Oh, that's offensive. No, they're going to call blocking.
And it's going to be a blocking foul after that behind the back dribble.
I don't want to second guess the ref, but I would have called absolutely offensive when he took his elbow and pushed him forward onto the ground.
Yeah, it looked like the left arm of Uruso definitely made contact with Deek, but
yeah, it was just good defense by Chicago Christian, moving their feet, getting into where Uruso was planning to go.
And a lofting pass for Miller.
See, there's no danger with that pass when you defend that. That's all the way here at half court.
It takes away the scoring opportunities that we saw in a couple inbound plays from St. Francis. So good adjustments from Kevin Pittman Sr., the head coach of the Knights.
So down by 13 in the end of the third quarter, St. Francis is playing for one shot. I don't think I would be doing that. You need more possessions if you want to win this game.
At St. Francis, just in general, they play slower than the Chicago Christian team, and they're showing it to the claps of this Knights squad.
There's 16 seconds to go.
Miller's got it. Lorup defending him on the top of the key. Miller in his right hand. Spins around to Yaruso. Yaruso getting through the double team. Kick out to Miller. Thought about the three. Step back from the corner. No good. Going off the front rim. It's picked up by Lacasio. No. And grabbing the rebound, but not in time.
Just couldn't make the finish.
So some clean looks from the Spartans, but no dice at the end of the quarter. 45-32 is your score. And everyone, you got to remember, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird. The bird is the word. Find out why everybody is saying that the bird is the word. In Wheaton, it's because of Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness is the word. Shoveling snow and hurt your lower back? Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness will get you better. Want to improve your golf game this summer? Albatross Physical Therapy will get you ready. Having aches and pains training for the upcoming race season? Albatross Physical Therapy will ensure that you're prepared for the challenge. Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free. They offer techniques that involve hands-on, personalized one-on-one care that will surely show you relief from headaches, pain of the lower back, neck, shoulders, knees, hips, and a range of other muscle and joint injuries. But don't take our word for it. Have a look at Albatross's stellar Google reviews and see for yourself why everybody's saying that the bird is the word. Look for the huge orange bird wings at 600 South County Farm Road, Suite 201 in Wheaton, 60187. Call now and take advantage of their Valentine's Day special, 30-minute. They accept most health insurance plans and in most cases do not require a doctor's referral for treatment. For more information, call 630-446-5560 or email them at albatrossphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. Well, the bird is the word, and comeback is the word right now for the Spartans, down 13 points at the start of the fourth quarter. As Miller getting away with the push-off, but sinking the bucket for the first time tonight.
It's another one of those offensive fouls I would have called it. You can't just shove the defender out of the way. But 2 points makes it an 11-point game. St. Francis did a great job in that third quarter, keeping the score even at least. They were down 13 at half. They're down 13 at the end of the third.
And Lorup has it at the top of the key. Lorup through in the legs. Mid-range shot. Heavily defended, but over Jurdy. Brady Lorup's unconscious today. He's got 17.
I can't say he was touched on that play, but this game could get rougher down the stretch. Both teams with so much intensity trying to do the best they can.
And an open three for Zulov. Back iron, no good. Jurdy leaping for it. Blocked by Lowe. Justin Lowe couldn't get the board, but jumped right back up for the block. And it goes off the hands of the Spartans.
All right, you have a little token pressure here.
St. Francis, not a team that pressures a lot, as Schaff brings the ball up. Now Lowe. Inside, bounce pass to Lorup, missed everyone, and will go the other way. First turnover of the day for Justin Lowe, as a substitution's going to be called. Out comes Zuloff, on comes Sean Killian for the first time since the first quarter.
Yeah, mark of a good team is not turning the ball over very often, and we can't say we've seen a lot of Chicago Christian turnovers here.
That's the first of the final quarter of action. 47-34 is the lead for the Knights. As Miller pulls up from three, front rim, no good. Yaruso grabs it for it, can go out of bounds. And Miller's tripped up. And I think it's going to be Deke called with the push.
And again, it goes under the hustle category, okay? Yaruso got a great rebound. He shot it back to Miller, driving the lane, just fell over when he got pushed. That's all hustle.
And they're actually giving the foul to Tommy Schaff. He's got 4 on the night, so Ryan Sturzma is going to come up to the scorer's table. As Yaruso, the long corner three, no good. It's rebounded by Lacasio. Now Miller slowing it up from the top of the key. Jurdy's near him, waiting on the screen. Jurdy with Lowe defending him at the elbow. Over the head of Yaruso, into the hands of Lacasio. Now Jurdy's got it. Backing down low. Miller loses Deke, fires to Lacasio, no open look. Lacasio drives off the backboard and in. Jack Lacasio avoiding the pressure and getting the deuce. Schaff now. Hands it to Deke. Deke has it poked away by Yarusa, who dives for it and comes up with it. Now it's a fight for it on the ground, and it's going to be jump ball going toward Chicago Christian.
Again, just great hustle. The ball lands on the ground, bodies land on the ground. It's like a fumble in football.
And Yarusa, a great heads-up play, but Deke just as much ambition there to recover and force the jump ball instead of accept the turnover. Possession arrow now switched to St. Francis. They're down 11 as the Knights have the ball as Yarusa almost picked Deke's pocket again. Now Sturzma's got it, defended by Lacasio. Ortiz up top, looking inside. Now Hunter Sperling, the big offensive lineman, seeing his first action of the game.
Yeah, lesser team than St. Francis would have packed it in long ago against this tough Chicago Christian team. But St. Francis is putting every bit of effort, every ounce of effort they can into this comeback.
And they are still not going down without a fight. It's an 11-point game, but Spartans certainly not playing like it.
It's fun to watch this game, how the intensity has just picked up every quarter.
Oh, absolutely. It's just been a different quarter. Each quarter has been like its own game. Deke fires from three, front rim, no good.
That's what St. Francis needs. They need Chicago Christian to give up on offense and shoot from long range. That's how they can get back in this game if Chicago Christian lets them.
And the Spartans certainly forcing those threes as Sturzma fouling Lacasio as he came down with the rebound.
Jack Lacasio on the line for the Spartans.
And in the bonus now are the Spartans, so Lacasio is going to shoot 2. He was 0 for 2 from the line in his first time up. And before the free throws, we'll have a timeout on the court and a timeout up in the booth. 11-point game, but the Spartans not playing for it. A battle here on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Sounds like a party here in the Spyglass Athletic Center. You cannot tell the Spartans are down by 11. They are certainly showing some fight in this final quarter.
They absolutely are, and this game is not out of reach either if they continue it. 11 points, that's what we're talking for, maybe 5 possessions. You get 4 turnovers, you can tie the game up. It's not over yet. As much as Chicago Christian has the underneath and the strength, the intensity that St. Francis turned up has neutralized a lot of that.
And Chicago Christian has been in the lead since about halfway through the first quarter, and they're playing to their size now. They have their biggest lineup in with Hunter Sperling, the offensive and defensive lineman who's heading to Hillsdale in the NCAA Division II next year. He's in there with Justin Lowe, Brady Lorup, and Evan Ortiz and Johnny Deke at the guards. Lacasio makes the front end of the 1-and-1, and that brings it into 10. That brings the lead down to 10, and he's got a chance to cut the Knights' lead down to single digits for the first time since the second quarter. And he does. It is a 9-point game now as Lacasio coming back. He's out there with Killian, Nick Chambor, Yaruso, and Miller.
And I like the St. Francis extending the defense out a little bit further. They're staying in their man-to-man defense, which means they're going to be vulnerable underneath.
But it's high-pressure man-to-man, and Miller almost coming up with a steal and a foul called. I think it's going to be free throws for Sebastian Miller as Ortiz. And yes, that is the call. So the Knights need to do better closing it out, but Miller's got a big opportunity at the free throw line.
Down by 9, you said single digits. You can make it within a touchdown here.
It has been a double-digit lead until that second free throw from Lacasio as the front end of the 1-and-1 is good from Miller. Until that Lacasio free throw, it was about 2 quarters where this Knights team had a double-digit lead, and St. Francis has come back in a big way, and Sebastian Miller, another big free throw, as it's 47-40 now with plenty of basketball left.
You know, it's interesting how St. Francis has stormed back in this game, but Chicago Christian is an excellent team, so I don't know if they'll be able to complete the comeback.
And a high court trap ends up with Justin Lowe.
Lowe's going to do his best.
And Lowe's got 14.
Drove the baseline again. Didn't use the backboard.
Now Miller. Yaruso driving the baseline, kicks outside, pass deflected, ends up in the hands of Locasio. Yaruso inside, and that one is a foul. Nick Chambor was going up, and I believe it was Justin Lowe who came down on him. So Lowe, that's his second foul of the evening, and Nick Chambor going to the line for 2 shots.
Down by 9, so he needs these 2 to get back to 7.
So I guess they ruled that foul on the floor, as I heard the ref say 1-1. And so we're still 1 away from the double bonus. 9 team fouls for Chicago Christian as that free throw is missed, but Yaruso's got a chance at an open 3, and he cashes it in! 5 3-pointers now for Yaruso. He's got 17, and it's a 6-point game.
If St. Francis loses, you still got to give him most valuable player for the game.
Yaruso's been on fire, and Deke has been hot when called upon. He's got 9.
Every time St. Francis scores, though, and starts to close on something, Chicago Christian.
Yaruso from 3 again, front rim, no good, and Lorup is fouled coming down with the board. That one's going against Sean Killian. So 51-43, an 8-point lead with 3:45 remaining in this contest. And it looks like we're going to start seeing some pressure from St. Francis. Some mild full court press from Chambor. Schaff gets by him into the front court.
I like that press. It pushes the offense to start from further from the hoop.
And Schaff losing control, giving it to Deke. Back into Schaff, deflected. Volleyball tips it away as Ortiz comes up funny on that right ankle. And timeout's going to be called. He was hopping on one ankle right in front of the ref. That is not what you want to see. And Ortiz has been the engine that has kept this offense going. He is getting looked at by the trainer right now. He might need to go to Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness, a simple philosophy of listening to the patients. The sponsor
he will need
of our
that, 'cause no matter how bad that ankle is twisted, you're going to be playing hobbled for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and we're going to take a short break as the trainers look at Evan Ortiz.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
So Ortiz looks like he's in a lot of pain on the bench, and I don't think we're going to be seeing him the rest of the night. So
what's bad about a shortened season like this, whether it's a 2-week sprain or a 6-week variety, it's a lot of the season you're going to miss.
That is a tough loss for the Knights. We certainly wish him the best, but they've got the rest of this game to finish out for their teammate.
Now, the adjustment that Chicago Christian made is obviously to move the ball around quicker and stop dribbling. That's going to make it tougher for St. Francis to trap anybody. So, again, well-coached Chicago Christian team.
And
there's a little bit of dribbling here. Now, they're also going to eat some clock during these possessions. 8-point lead with less than 3 minutes to go.
They are, as Deke now drives on Yaruso, pulling back.
I think
no
what you're
shot clock, remember.
See is some fouls called, right?
And I think we might start with the fouling, and that is Jack Locasio, his third of the game. And he's going to check out. On comes Jack Brennan. So Lorup will inbound for the Knights. Still an 8-point game, under 3 minutes remaining in the fourth. Brennan called into action, and he's going to foul Schaff to get the Knights in the bonus. Or maybe not yet. Maybe the bonus is 7, actually. My apologies. 6 team fouls now, so we could see another one very quickly as Brennan on Schaff again. And Brennan tries for the steal, ends up with the reach, and going to the line is going to be Tommy Schaff.
That almost looked like an automatic call. It looked to me like he made that steal from behind.
Yeah, but close one. The refs are certainly a lot closer than we are, as Schaff heading the line for a 1-and-1 for the first time.
So we're going to see a bunch of fouls probably to the end of the game in an effort to get the ball back. So,
I'd say so, Bob.
Yeah, so if Chicago Christian can make their free throws, they've got this game.
A good start for Schaff. He makes the front end of that 1-and-1, looking to get the lead back up to double digits. He does. 2 swishes from the line for Schaff. He's got 6. Yaruso to Brennan. You might see a faster pace game from the Spartans as Miller has it in the corner. Screen from Yaruso, back behind the three-point line. Yaruso, the high arcing layup off the side rim into the hands of Lorup.
That was a good, clear shot, though. It was the right one to take.
And Schaff sends it to Sturzma for the open layup, who's fouled! And the basket, and that is huge for Ryan Sturzma's first points of the game.
Unfortunately, he was pushed after the shot was released, so didn't adjust the shot at all, and now you give him an extra free throw out of it.
Just a little late on the defense and a very heads-up pass from Lorup.
We saw those long passes earlier in the game, but St. Francis adjusted and prevented those until then.
It's a 12-point lead as the pass is not seen by Killian. As Schaff has it, sends it to Lorup now. 12-point lead for the Knights. But we're still seeing heavy pressure from the Spartans. There's no quit in this team.
10 seconds, I'll bet.
Well, almost, but a timeout was quickly called by Kevin Pittman. We're going to take a timeout in the booth here. You're watching the Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Under 2 in this final quarter now, and it looks like the comeback effort by the Spartans may be in vain. They had the lead down to 6, but that is now doubled as the Knights have been making their free throws and just about executing as well as you can in every facet of the game.
That was well put. On defense, on offense, fast break.
And now Deke holding the ball in the backcourt. Yaruso defending him in the trap immediately as he hits midcourt. Still pushing back against Yaruso, and Yaruso fouling Tommy Schaff. Schaff went 2 for 2 the last time he was at the line. And he'll get another 1-and-1 as now each team stand at 9 team fouls. So time and score on the side of the Knights. And that one teetered on the rim. Lowe almost gets the rebound. Couldn't handle it as Yaruso ends up with it. Pushing is Yaruso and the Spartans. Miller thought about the 3. Instead drives looking for the deuce. And the finger roll is good.
I'd like to see more of that.
Quick decision making from Miller. And that foul, I'm not sure who that's on. It looked like Schaff pushed off of Brennan. And they're going to call that on Tommy Schaff.
32, Tommy Shea.
So the Spartans not giving up as Schaff has 5. I think he's going to be out for the rest of the game.
A very heady defensive play. Conveniently got in his way and then embellished the fall backwards and got the call from the ref.
So Zach Sudeikis is checked in for Schaff as Schaff still talking with Kevin Pittman Jr., the assistant coach for the Knights, as Miller. The one-handed shot off the rim, no good. As Lowe falls, can't handle the rebound. Miller gets it back and is fouled. Sebastian Miller's heating up at the right time. He's got the last 4, chance to make it 5 from the free throw line. It's an 8-point game now, and Miller's at the line to make it 7.
All right, and here's the press again.
That's 9 points for Miller. Both missing fouls on Deke, and Miller chasing him. Deke out and running the entire team, and a clean steal from Sebastian Miller. Here comes Brennan, the contested layup, and the foul is good! Oh my goodness, it's a 5-point game now, and Jack Brennan and Sebastian Miller got to get the credit on that fast break. The Spartans saving the best for the last quarter. It is the slimmest lead since early in the second. And Brennan has a chance to make it 4, but a timeout is called before he takes the shot. And what an end of this game Sebastian Miller's having. He was 0 for 4 in the first 2 quarters, made his first bucket towards the end of the third, had that key steal and 3 crucial baskets for the Spartans down the stretch.
I would love to see him get the ball more and drive toward the hoop. He can get fouls. He can go to the free throw line. He made a great steal on that drive during the press. He's everywhere now, but you also wonder if he could have been everywhere in the first 2 quarters, maybe they wouldn't be down 5. But that's a heavy burden to put on him here.
Yeah, the leading scorer for this Spartans team has been well defended all game, but some great adjustments by Coach Aaron Dwyer, able to get him open, and he's gained a lot more confidence in creating some shots for himself.
Right, and along the way, Russo has just done a fabulous job to keep the Spartans even close in this game, only down by 5 here with 1:13 to go.
Yeah, Russo's made 5 of the 6 of the 7 or 8 threes made all game long. He has been lights out from behind the arc.
Yeah, what a game to be on fire in, right?
Ain't that the truth? But it's Jack Brennan at the line right now. He's got 4 points on the night, looking for his first free throw make. He missed the front end of a 1-and-1 earlier in the quarter.
So he makes this, and he gets to a 2-possession game and 2 two-pointer possession game. Now, if you're St. Francis, you know you're going to hold the ball and try and get fouled again.
And Brennan, a fine time to make his first free throw of the contest, as Lorup sends it to Sturzma, and Sturzma's slapped in the wrist.
Not a bad foul.
Miller.
They were going to foul him anyway as soon as they got cross court.
Only 1 second going off the clock there, and it's certainly that time of the game. And we will not have a 1-and-1. And it is 2 shots outright. So 10 team fouls now for the Spartans. And Sturzma is going to make the first. That's a crucial shot for the Knights. Their lead back up to 5.
That was, no one point matters more than another, right? But I get the feeling that was a great time to make that free throw. Oh, missed the second.
Missed the second, so it's a 5-point game. Russo surprisingly slow coming up the court. Brennan back to Russo. They want to get him open for 3, passing it towards the middle, and it's intercepted.
That was a big turnover
he
and a
catches
foul.
the deflection, and he's fouled on the baseline. This has really been a theme all game long, Bob. Whenever the Spartans have had some momentum, Chicago Christian just kicks into another gear and takes the momentum right back.
Right, then they get the next basket. St. Francis just hasn't been able to put together a 4-0, 5-0, 6-0 type streak to get back in the game.
In this case, it's a defensive play that sends Deke to the line, trying to make it a 6-point game. He makes the first, 57-51, with exactly 1 minute remaining in this contest.
But I remember earlier when we saw a 30-14 score, I did not envision this finish.
Certainly not, and it is. I'm definitely happy to see this exciting game, and it's a 7-point game as Deke gets his total to 9. Miller waiting for the 3, and a timeout called by Dwyer. Kind of stopping Miller's momentum right in his tracks. We're going to take a short break here on Sports Broadcast Solution, but stick with us. 53 seconds is a lot of time.
But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
And it was a 13-point game at the start of this quarter. It's a 7-point game now, 58-51 with 53 seconds left. Josh Sperber and Bob Villasowit on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Can't forget about our A-plus camera guy, David Izzo, getting all the sights and sounds for us here at the Spyglass Athletic Center. It's going to be Zach Brennan, inbounding the ball for St. Francis. They need a quick shot as Miller gets it at half court. Yaruso's been the hot man from behind the arc, looking to get open. Step back, finds Miller all alone for three. Just rung around. That was a close one, but it rung around the purple and white jerseys, and it's staying right here with St. Francis. But 12 seconds coming off that clock, Bob. And Miller curls away from Lorup. The spin move inside. Nice move off the glass, but into the hands of Justin Lowe. And Deke has it on the far end of the court, avoiding the fouls. Deke running away from pressure, has it knocked away, and Yaruso and Brennan were on him. And that foul is going to end up being called on Jack Brennan.
So you're down 7. You need, 2 threes or 3 twos and a free throw or something. It's going to be several possessions needed to win this game, so it's going to be free throws for the rest of the way for sure at this point.
A 3-possession game now as Deke's first free throw makes it an 8-point lead. He's got 10 on the night.
You need a steal or a turnover here, too.
And that is another free throw. Johnny Deke, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. As Yaruso driving it right down, drawing the blocking foul and the basket. Yaruso making sure St. Francis doesn't go home quietly. Sadakis was in the circle. Rather, it was Sturzma in the circle. So Yaruso trying to make it a 6-point game.
So if you can make this point, you got 2 3-pointers, 2 big possessions down. Get that steal.
Yaruso slots home the free throw as Deke is immediately fouled by Miller. So that last possession, Chicago Christian wanted to prevent the 3. Miller ended up getting a 3-point play anyway, but Deke has not missed from the line yet. And his team, the Knights, have a 6-point advantage.
And that is exactly why they did not try to foul him in the open court. They were trying to get him to give the ball away and have somebody else miss the free throw.
Well, Deke missed his first free throw of the night. He's 4 for 5. And Deke missed them both. So this could be a big string. You hear Dwyer yelling for the Spartans to push. 13 seconds left. 3 from Miller, teetering around the rim. No good. Lowe gets the board, and Lowe's going to the line. And that one almost went home for Miller. That could have been a lot of trouble for Chicago Christian. But with a 6-point lead and 9 seconds on the clock, it looks like this comeback might fall short again.
Yeah, if that had gone in, down by 3. But it's not. It's down by 6 now and a chance to make it 7 or 8.
Still an exciting finish, but strong enough defense from Chicago Christian to hold on.
But I really like the effort St. Francis put in making this a comeback attempt against a very strong Chicago Christian team. Gives you an awful lot of confidence for next time you play them.
You gotta give a lot of credit to both teams here as Lowe makes the second free throw. 4 for 4 from the line is he. And still pushing is the Spartans. You love to see it. A long distance free from Yaruso air balls. And it's going to be Knight ball with an 8-point lead and half that left on the game clock. And no fouls coming from the Spartans, and that is going to do it. So the Knights were in control the whole game, but St. Francis not going down without a fight. A 62-54 win here on the post-game show. And we'll get that sponsored by Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness, a simple philosophy of listening to the patients. We're going to be right back with some post-game coverage. Stick with us. Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird, bird. The bird is the word. Find out why everyone's saying that the bird is the word. In Wheaton, Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness is the word. Shoveling snow and hurt your lower back? Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness will get you better. Want to improve your golf game this summer? Albatross Physical Therapy will get you ready. Having aches and pains training for the upcoming race season? Albatross Physical Therapy will ensure that you're prepared for the challenge. Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free. They offer techniques that involve hands-on, personalized, one-on-one care that will surely show you relief from headaches, pain of the lower back, neck, shoulders, knees, hips, and a range of other muscles and joint injuries. But don't take our word for it. Have a look at Albatross's stellar Google reviews and see for yourself why everybody's saying that the bird is the word. Look for the huge bird wings at 600 South County Farm Road, Suite 201, in Wheaton, 60187. Call now and take advantage of their Valentine's Day special, 30-minute CBD massage for only $30. They accept most health insurance plans and in most cases do not require a doctor's referral for treatment. For more information, call 630-446-5660 or email them at albatrossphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. A bird, but bird is the word. Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness, pain-free. Yeah. Welcome back to the post-game show here on Sports Broadcast Solutions, brought to you by Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness. And we are here with Brennan LaRusso for the St. Francis Spartans. And Brennan, a tough game for you guys, but you had a nice night. 5 threes for you. How did it feel out there being back for the first time in a week?
It felt pretty good. Second half, I thought we fought back pretty hard. We made it a game. We took better shots and everything, and sad about the outcome, but glad we put in a good effort at the end.
And it can't be easy to play with just fewer fans and stands, a mask on. I mean, it's hard enough for me to be talking about the game with a mask on. How does it feel getting on the court sweating in that thing?
I'm just glad to play, to be honest. I'd rather play with this than not play at all. That's my thing, mainly. But like with the fans, the players have to bring the energy every game. You can't rely on the fans with all the energy. The players have to bring it.
And you guys certainly brought energy. You guys were down for most of the game, but you certainly didn't play like it. Talk about that quick mentality, just always trying to cut at the throat of the opponent.
We're fighters. We always want to be in the game. We always want to win. We're huge competitors during practice. You'll see us go against each other, push, shove, talk trash a lot. There's no fights, but it sometimes gets close.
Certainly not. It's definitely been a clean game and definitely an enjoyable one to watch. Brennan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to be back with some more post-game interviews. Stick with us on the post-game show on Sports Broadcast Solutions, brought to you by Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness. Welcome back to the post-game show here on Sports Broadcast Solutions, brought to you by Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness. Josh Sperber joined by two of the players of the game, Justin Lowe and Johnny Deek. We're going to start with Justin over here. A beast down low for you tonight. Something that we talked with the Spartans about was trying to combat your size. Right. Certainly couldn't do that with you tonight. How do you take advantage of these guys in the paint?
It's every game, every team has to try to come down at me. It is tough because they're a tough team and it was a tough match. But sometimes I gotta, I got a lot of faith in my game, so just gotta do what I gotta do.
And faith certainly paid off tonight. And you kind of, the way you guys I like the way they kind of started you off outside and worked you kind of inside. Is that something you guys do on a regular basis?
Yeah, mostly because at first I started down low, but I'm also versatile up top also, so I kind of work either way.
Definitely good to know your game, and someone else who knows the game well is Johnny Deek over here. Johnny, kind of quiet start for you, but when it counted, you were putting up those buckets. Talk about your mentality towards the end of the games.
At the beginning, they were sort of they were doing a good job on defense with me, so I was trying to distribute my ball to the teammates. Justin, the big one, another one, Brady Lurup. So great game on their end. So, and then at the end, I started getting open for a little bit of pull up. So, I sort of just shot it. I was confident in my game, like Justin said, and then we got the W, which is the most important thing.
Confidence is definitely key, and getting that win is certainly key, and we really could have brought just any one of you guys up. Talk about the team chemistry with you guys and how well you guys spread the ball around.
Yeah, this year more than the other years I've been on the team, we do a really good job distributing the ball. Justin down low, Brady, Tommy Schaff, a little bit of foul trouble today. He's a good shooter. So our point guard, Phoenix Smith, he's a good shooter too. He's out with a shin injury. So, we're all good at shooting. We all know what our strengths are. So it's good to just get a win, come here. St. Francis is a great team. So.
And I think that horn in the background is our cue, but certainly a tough road win for you guys. You guys really battled it out against a team that was fighting through and through. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much.
A big win for the boys here for Chicago Christian. They moved to 8-1 on the season, and we want to thank you guys all for watching. It's been a pleasure to bring high school basketball back to your airways in this difficult time. As we've seen everyone on the court, our two friends here, Brennan Yaruso as well, masked up. We encourage you guys to stay safe and stay strong during the rest of this coronavirus pandemic. A big win for Chicago Christian. I want to thank my broadcast partner, Bob Philisoet, and of course our videographer, David Izzo. A great job for you guys of getting the sights and sounds and seeing everything we had in this game, and we certainly can't wait to bring you many more. Josh Sperber signing off for Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcast network for everyone.